House meeting of the Shorewood Board of Trustees to order at 7:42. All trustees are present. First item on the agenda is consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Moves us to item 6. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the village board meeting number 6?
I move approval of March 6, 2017 board minutes.
Second.
Discussion?
On item 8, new business, C, Public Works, number 2, where we talked about the refuse collection contract alternatives. I'd like to just include in the minutes that people we did discuss allowing people to have a second card if they wanted that.
Sure. That's in the motion that was approved. That is included.
Oh, it is in there?
The
Oh,
approved
okay.
You're
Okay,
fine.
yeah, I'm fine.
There's a
What was
typo,
it?
typo in the fourth paragraph in the
We'll get these.
C2, second line.
I'm sorry, where? I didn't.
C2, fourth paragraph, second line.
What's the question?
This is a typo. It says he card, her card.
What's the order?
For others present, was Chris here? Village manager?
Yeah, who's in the audience?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was here for a portion.
Okay, wait.
And then you left because his son was in the house.
Okay. And then for items 4, 5, and 6, when you, I think I mentioned this each time, but when you reference an item in the minutes like 4B, you put in parentheses the context of what that item was. For instance, removal of, so under 4, it says, really requested removal of item 4B, and then I requested that we just put, where I wish you could all be hours or whatever the topic was. It happens in 4, it happens in 6.
We're getting
And then in 8C2, the board discussed weekly versus bi-weekly use added word recycling collection. So we're clear it wasn't a comment, please. I have one on item 10.
Where did you finish?
Are you done? I have one more. For item 8, somewhere under 2, the first or second paragraph, can we just add that we were talking about changing consumer behavior? We had a discussion on what would be the biggest impact of changing consumer behavior. And on items for future consideration, number 10, trustees have requested more information and a discussion on the memo from the village attorney. I mean, I believe President Johnson distributed that memo. It did originate trustee Zeldin.
No, we did.
He did request more information, but the president distributed the memo.
Okay,
Is the memo
And
written by?
he had made, the president requested that Nathan do a memo reviewing the records request,
Right.
and then Paul just asked a question about it. The way the minutes are written, it doesn't seem like Paul was originating this question, and it was really because the memo was distributed.
I did request more information and discussion about the memo from the village attorney regarding those records requests submitted by 2 trustees. That is correct.
Any other comments?
Yeah. Page 11, or item 11, the bottom, going into closed session, with all members voting aye by a roll call vote, and by a roll call vote, motion carries. And then on the top of the next page, coming out, same thing, by a roll call vote, be added, motion carries 7-0.
Any other comments? Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes and a second. We've got some changes that taken care of. All in favor of the motion as stated with the changes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Takes us to item 7. Is there a motion to approve the special village board minutes of the meeting of March 13th?
I move approval of March 13, 2017 board minutes.
Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the minutes of March 13th, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Next item is citizens to be heard. This item is for matters that are not on this evening's agenda. Discussion may follow comment on non-agenda items, or discussion action may come at future meetings. Is there anybody who wishes to be heard this evening on non-agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on to item 9, new business. First item is public safety, consideration of bids for the police building. Trustee Rose.
This item, I'm going to let the chief actually give some details, but we contracted with Riley Construction a few months ago in September of 2016 to assist in general contract management, construction management for the new police station at the AV data site. They've been working for 5 months with Zimmerman Architects to come up with a design for the building, a final design, and then to go out to bid for the subcontractors on the project. They have received the bids, and they're going to explain the lowest bidders and what that entails, and are looking for approval tonight to award those contracts. Chief?
Thank you. Riley Construction is here, and I'll turn it over to them pretty quick. But if you look at page 2 of your packet, it kind of breaks down where we're at in this process when we started it. If you remember correctly, we started at $3.5 million was the overall budget. And on top of page 2 there, it outlines exactly where our money has gone so far in this project. The purchase price of the building, the environmental studies that were completed, the attorney fees, the tax payment that we had to pay as part of the sale of the building, and then our first payment to Riley Construction. And the total is there, and the remaining balance is highlighted there at $954. So that was our working budget for the renovation of the police building. We worked very diligently with Riley Construction and Zimmerman Architect to design a working police department. If you remember, I'll take you back to the beginning of this. We talked about actually 3 phases, phase 1, 2, and 3. This is the first phase of that building, and we've included the booking room in this phase as well, which is very important for us to do. When we first ventured off on this project, we were concerned about the cost, obviously. I know $1 million is a lot of money, but when we started renovating the police building, it doesn't go very long. And so when we looked at this, the booking room wasn't put in the beginning due to that fact that we didn't think we could stretch that $1 million in the first phase to actually renovate a working police department. Well, through some creativity and keeping some of the original building intact and not moving a lot of walls, we were able to really cut the cost to be able to get the booking room in, which, as you know, is a very essential part of a police building. But when we looked at this originally, we thought, well, you know, if we're gonna do this, this is all the money we have, let's figure out what we can do in phase one, and let's do this, but, that's why it wasn't included in the beginning. That being said, the following pages have the bids that were sent back. They are the lowest qualified bidder. So all the bid packages publicly went out. They all were received by Village Hall, sealed and bid. And along with Riley Construction and a representative from village staff, those bids were open. And on their memo, you'll see the list of the bidders. And they can, if you want to get into detail of the contract package, you can do that, but I'll let them talk to the experts. But these bids came back and they were scoped, and they are the lowest qualified bidders. And those bids, as you can see, came to $540,000. And then on the following page is the budget, the overall budget that Riley Construction has put together for this project. And it's there, it's tight, it's, it is not, I know there's a quote, it's not the Taj Mahal by any means, I can tell you that. We're, you know, keeping some of the current carpeting, we're keeping some of the paint. You know, it's unfortunate, but it just, as you know, the dollar doesn't stretch that far nowadays. So we are really, really tight. And that being said, it's going to be nice, but it's going to be tight. And it's going to be functional, it's going to be proud of a building to have, but and no golden toilets, that's for sure. So, so what we're asking for tonight, and Riley Construction is here, and Zimmerman Architect is here, and if you have any direct questions for them, but what we're asking for you tonight is to award the bids that we received and allow us to enter into, or get Riley to enter into agreements with these bidders. That being said, there's a contract or contracts in your packet that have been reviewed by the village attorney, and they've been in correspondence with Riley to make sure that those contracts fit all of our needs, because we are the ones that hold those bids at the end of the day. Riley has been contracted, obviously, us to assist in all those details and to work with the contractors. Certainly I can't do that. So what we'll do is Riley will award those bids to the contractors. The contractors would then work with Riley on the contracts that we have in the packet. The village attorney would review those one more time and give his blessing, and then we'd ask you to allow the village president to execute those contracts, so that we wouldn't have to bring those back. So today we're asking you to award bids, allow us to execute the contracts upon approval of the village attorney, and have the village president execute those after being reviewed. If you have any questions, I can certainly answer them, or, yes, sir.
I'll start. Are there other contracts that have to be bid yet besides these? Over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Are there other than these 14 contracts?
No.
That haven't, so this is all inclusive?
This is all inclusive. Correct?
Furniture.
Furniture.
Furniture? Okay.
We're doing the state bid for the furniture, so it should not have to bid out.
Okay. Thank you.
So, I didn't catch that, the furniture, this is, so I forgot to mention one thing. The original phase 1 was not going to include booking room. They were able to get the bids down enough to include it, but it does make, just so you're aware, it makes it very tight. There's a contingency of $50,000 and that's it. So if they open up a wall and there's, you know, some asbestos or whatever it may be that's unexpected, that's it. You know, we can be voting for more.
Unless they open up the wall and find cash.
Yeah, unless the cash falls on the wall, that would be better. But you never know. Anything can happen. And so for furniture, just so I have a better understanding, there is no leeway here. Where does that funding come from?
No, we have a $60,000
It's in
loan.
here. You just haven't bid it yet.
We're getting buying it all in
It's
state
in
bid.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's in here.
It's all state bid. Yeah, 60,000 for furniture is in it. Yep. So the things that aren't, so let's, there's, when you buy a building, and we knew this going in, is we have the roof. Our DPW thankfully has done a great job of doing some remedies up there, but the roof is in a little bit rougher shape than we had anticipated. And so, that second phase, that's gonna have to be certainly addressed. And we're gonna patch the roof the best we can in this to not have any leaks, but it needs to be repaired in that second phase. And the other issue is the parking lot. And the tank is still there.